Hello everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So, I've been away for like a week or something. I got sick again. I don't know. It's fine. I'm annoyed. This time it's just a cold though, but I've been coughing a lot, so I kind of wanted to wait with like doing voiceovers and stuff until I sounded a little bit more normal and could like talk without coughing, but I'm just not getting there, so we're gonna ignore it the best we can throughout this voiceover, even though I'm suppressing a cough as I speak right now. It's so annoying. But I think I have 3 builds ready for you guys that I need to do voiceovers for, and then I'm working on a 4th one. So yes, we are slowly gonna go through those builds. Before we get into talking about this one though, I just got the usual quick little disclaimer for you. Thank you to the EA Creator Network for making this video possible by providing me with codes throughout the years. I appreciate it so much. And also, if you want to support the channel, I have a creator code with EA. You can see it on the screen right now. Feel free to use it if you want to, or don't. No pressure whatsoever. Now, let's get back to the video. So with that out of the way, today we are building an autumnal A-frame. I really wanted to like squeeze out the last couple of autumn builds before, you know, the release of Life and Death, because then we're gonna go all crazy with those builds, whatever that style is. I don't actually think it's Victorian, but it's definitely like leaning on or leaning towards Victorian kind of architecture, like the same sort of family, if that makes sense. It's just not Victorian. We can build some Victorian builds once I get access to the pack though, if that's what you guys want, which I'm thinking it is, because when I mentioned that I wanted to do a Victorian, or that I could possibly be open to be convinced to build one, a lot of you seemed very excited about that, so I'm thinking we're still gonna do one. I just don't really know, because like I've revised the trailer and everything, and I think it's not actually that style, so I just don't know the actual term for it, because it's like that family I'm not really fully confident with, and I don't really know a whole lot about it either, so I need to do a little bit of research, but we'll figure it out. So I just wanted to like squeeze out a couple of autumn builds before that's released here at the end of October, because all of a sudden it's going to be winter and then autumn builds just don't make sense anymore. So not that I'm going to build in the snow throughout the entire December, but also definitely not going to solely build in winter in The Sims, because winter in The Sims is like everything just looks kind of gray and dead. You know, like autumn has its charm, right? Winter without the snow is just kind of bare. So we'll see what happens once we get to like November, or I don't know when, like end of November maybe. But I've really enjoyed building in these like warmer colors, I was about to say warmer surroundings, but it's technically colder, I suppose, but like color scheme wise, it's very warm and cozy with the orange and red trees in the game. So I've really been enjoying that, and I just wanted to do a couple more. So today we are building this autumnal A-frame. I love A-frame builds. If I don't know what to do exactly and I just want to like sit down and build and like, you know, chill, cozy up with the game and stuff, I will probably start building an A-frame and then just have fun with the shape of it, add a little bit to it, like the box here on the left side. This was, I think this specific one was actually inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest, but it had like the most beautiful, full facade of it, with the A-frame itself, not the box on the left side, was made out of glass, and obviously we can't do that in the game because we don't have the angled glass, I don't know, what would you call those? Like an A-framed glass pane, window pane, you know what I mean, right? Like you can't do that in The Sims because we don't really have the right windows for it. I know we have the kind of one that could somewhat fit, that is from, which one is it? It's not for Rent. It's the growing together. Is it Growing Together maybe? But it doesn't actually work because the roof is too steep. It's too pointy the way that I've made it. So it doesn't actually fit with the house. unfortunately. But also we don't have the like the side windows that are slanted or whatever you want to call it. So I hope I'm making sense, but like I cold brain, okay? It's not really fully working, so I'm just gonna go with it, okay? I hope you guys are coming along for the ride, but like cold brain, okay? So cut me some slack. But yeah, it was such a gorgeous A-frame, and I just wanted to see if I could do something with it, also because I was asked a while ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, if I'd ever consider doing also an autumnal house, but maybe one that was a little bit less cottagey, so a little bit more modern, I think was the more specific question. And sure, I don't know why. It's just whenever I think of autumn houses, I tend to, not whenever, but often, I tend to think of like cottages and small wooden cottages as well, specifically, not brick ones. And it's just where my mind goes. I don't really know why. But trying to do this a little bit more contemporary, if you will. So we have newer furniture and not so much this like autumn cottage core feel to it either, aesthetic vibe, whatever you want to call it. Atmosphere as well as a possible option to go for. So definitely just trying to like modernize everything in this one, and also use some colors that I wouldn't necessarily always use. I have to say this because I had such issues with the lighting when furnishing, as you can probably tell. A couple of the items from Dream Home Decorator kind of caught the light, like I don't know if I would full on call it like a bug or a glitch, but it caught the lighting in the weirdest way. Like it was lighting up, it's like I don't really know what was going on there. It was so strange. So also I feel like whenever you do A-frames as well, because a lot of the house will actually be considered outside technically, it gets a little bit complicated with the lighting, and it looks a little bit flat while you're decorating during the day. So I often will change to nighttime because then the lights actually turn on in the building. As you can see right now, they're turned off because it's during the day. And so the game is like, well, you don't need the lights on because you're outside, and it's, you know, it's weird. I don't know what to do about that either, but because it would require walls around the whole floor area, and I just can't do that because then we can't do the A-frame roof, and that defeats the purpose of an A-frame. So it is what it is, okay. Otherwise it would be like we wouldn't have the side window, for example. And I love adding the glass texture to the roof, and I think it looks very nice. You can see it at the screenshots at the end, or on the screenshots at the end of the video. It has this, I think you can see it here as well in the kitchen area. It has this like nice slanted, it just looks so good, okay? It looks very good, I feel. So I would be unhappy if I had to remove that whole part of the A-frames, and so we're just gonna deal with this, okay? We're just gonna deal with it. I often get questions about the whole like splitting up the roof, or splitting up the roof in different pieces when I do A-frames, but I did do a tutorial on it like years ago. I believe it's linked in the description, otherwise there's definitely a link to my tutorials where you can find it, but I often get questions about like how does that work and what do you do and all that stuff, and it's quite simple, I feel, once you get the hang of it. So it's just essentially just like, you can use it for dormer rooms as well, or like under the attic rooms as well, just split up the roofing so the roof doesn't get in the way when you're decorating. But it does take a little bit more work when you are roofing houses and stuff to do it, but I feel like it's worth the effort. But yeah, there's a tutorial, at least, linked somewhere in the description box. It might be through a link to a tutorial list, a playlist, but I don't know exactly. And it's so old, maybe I should do a revised version or something. I don't feel like roofing has changed in The Sims, so I don't actually feel like I need to. But yeah, I don't really know what that fishing pole was about there, but it's an item that I don't think I've used more than a handful of times, if even that. Like, I think maybe I've only used it once before, And we're on the, I think I forgot to say this as well, but we're on the island in Windenburg. I can't remember if this is a 20 by 20 or a 30 by 20, but one of the two. I think it's a 30 by 20 though. And we're close to the water, so when I needed to find something to hang above the desk area, I was like, you know what, the fishing pole kind of makes sense, even though I think you can't actually fish in the ocean in The Sims. I don't know, because I don't play. I just chill and build and create vibes. Like, that's what I do, and that's okay. That's also playing the game. It's just not doing live mode. I'm saying this specifically because I've read something earlier today that kind of bothered me a little bit. I will say, like, when I say I don't play the game, I mean that I don't do live mode or live mode, whatever you want to call it. That's just not where I find my Sims fix, if you will. I don't know if you can put it like that. I have always, not always, mostly been a builder since like end of 2017 or something. It's been building for me. That's what I enjoy the most, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also talk about that when I do my overviews of new packs as well. I prefer to just look at, like, that's what does it for me. I don't know how else to put it. So, but I don't think you can like say, well, you're not qualified to talk about stuff, because I also don't do reviews. I do overviews, but I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Like, you don't have to do the whole game. It's okay to just like focus on one part of it, as long as you're making that clear, which I feel like you guys know by now. I've not been attacked personally, by the way. I just want to say, I just read something about it and I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, you're discrediting you're discrediting huge parts of the community. Like, even game players who don't touch building, suddenly they're not allowed to talk about the game because they don't do builds. That doesn't make any sense. I think it's so natural for this community to be not split up in like, we don't talk to each other or have anything to do with each other, like split up like that, but because the game is very inviting for creative people to, so either do like storytelling or fashion or create Sims, or, you know, which is technically also fashion, or like creating content and stuff. It's very like inviting to all different kinds of creativity. So I think it's very natural for the community to be so split up. Like, you don't have to be an all-rounder. Does that make sense? For your opinion of anything to be considered meaningful, or I don't know if I'm making sense. Cold brain, okay. I just think it's natural when you have such a broad game for there to be tons of different creatives kind of drawn to it, and then they're all doing their own thing, you know? So some of us do builds and other people do storytelling, and that is cool. It's cool that we have a game like this that's just so inviting to all different kinds of creative areas, if you will. I suppose like building as well can be storytelling in a way. I just haven't personally done a whole lot of it lately. I think I've more been focused on different styles, but you can definitely tell a lot about, like, if you build for a specific household with specific professions or hobbies, or like family dynamics, compositions, and, you know, whether or not it's a multi-generational home and stuff. I definitely feel like you can tell a story through interior and decorating and, you know, that stuff, as well, clutter as well. But personally, haven't done a whole lot of that lately. I don't know. I kind of like moved away from that a little bit, but maybe I should go back to that. Oh, someone asked not too long ago if I could do more bookish builds. The thing is, like, whenever I need to get like super inspired by a book to actually sit here and think, you know what, this would be kind of cool to build for. So oftentimes these days it's like I don't really feel like the books, like the people in the books stand out too much. Plus I read a lot of fantasy and I don't do fantasy builds. So, and no, I'm not going to do them. do not ask, okay? But if I ever come across another one, I think I had one written down that I wanted to, but now I can't remember what it was. I have to go through the books that I've read this year, because I'm pretty sure it was one this year. So we might do some more of that. I don't mind, like, I wouldn't mind combining books and Sims because they're two of my loves, so it kind of makes sense. There'd be some overlap, you know. But it's just not always that I'm inspired by the books to build because they're not specific enough. Like the red, white, and royal blue build that I did, it was so specific. So we'll see though, we'll see though. But anyway, I think we are getting to the end or closer to the end of this video. I think I got through it okay. My voice actually feels fine. I just have found out over the past couple of days I kind of need to like talk in a certain tone for me to not cough, essentially, so that's what we're trying. But anyway, and I just failed, it's fine. But anyway, I hope you guys like this build. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment, where you can also find a link to my booktube channel. So if you like to read just like me, definitely feel free to go check it out. But that is all I got for you guys today, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!